After last week's video went viral, hitting over 1 million views in just days, it suddenly and inexplicably got nuked. Apparently, there are certain, sensitive, topics the authorities would prefer we stop discussing. But I'm back with updates, new evidence, and a conversation with the victim's sister that changes everything. We're talking about the tragic death of Michelle Anders. You've seen the footage. 2 Missouri deputies standing over a woman who is clearly injured, fleeing domestic violence, and visibly intoxicated. She's begging for a 2-mile ride to a gas station because it's pitch black and she has a broken shoulder. Their response? "Our car is too full of gear." They told her to stay off the white line and just keep walking into the dark. 13 minutes later, she was hit and killed by a semi-truck. Now, the state is seeking to discipline these officers for reckless disregard, but their lawyers are digging in, claiming they did nothing wrong. Was this a tragic policy issue or a total failure of human decency? I've got the full police reports and the missing evidence the department tried to bury. Welcome back to Justice Valley. If we look at the official police report written by Deputy Cobb, we see a masterclass in what I like to call legal fiction. Cobb writes that Michelle Anders appeared to be of sound mind, was not slurring her words, and didn't seem intoxicated at all. It's a complete defensive maneuver designed to shield the department from liability. But here's the problem. We have the body cam footage. In that video, we hear Michelle slurring her speech. We see her confused, exhausted, and literally telling the deputies she has a broken shoulder. At one point, the deputy even asks her, "How much have you had to drink tonight?" Because he sees a whiskey bottle sticking out of her bag. He saw it with his own eyes, he mentioned it on camera, yet he scrubbed it from the official narrative. And it gets worse. Michelle's sister tracked down a receipt showing a vodka purchase just 3 hours before this encounter. So the evidence is there. The intoxication was obvious. But when the family got Michelle's belongings back, the bottle was gone. No mention of it in the evidence logs. Just a convenient omission to make it look like they left a sober woman to walk a dark highway. Now, this is where the story takes a turn from negligence into what looks like a full-blown cover-up. In any death investigation, especially one involving a 60 miles per hour highway and a vulnerable victim, you'd run a standard toxicology report. You'd find out exactly how much alcohol was in her system to determine if she was even capable of making a rational decision to walk. The family was promised this would be done. They were told the truth would come out in the lab results. But instead of answers, they got a nightmare. Michelle's body was rushed off and cremated, not at a state facility, but at a veterinary crematorium, before any toxicology tests could be completed. Think about that. The physical evidence of her intoxication, the very thing that would prove the deputies left an impaired woman in a death trap, was incinerated alongside her remains. It's absolutely abhorrent. The family is left with nothing but ashes and a mounting pile of missing details. Why the rush? Why the vet clinic? To me, it smells like a desperate attempt by a corrupt little county to bury the evidence of their own misconduct. Justice isn't found in a furnace. It's found in the facts they're trying so hard to hide. Now, the deputies have hired lawyers to fight these disciplinary proceedings, and their defense is built on a very specific legal technicality. They're claiming they had no basis to take Michelle into protective custody or arrest her. Their argument? Doing anything other than letting her walk would have been a violation of her Fourth Amendment rights. A 96-hour hold, or a kidnapping lawsuit waiting to happen. It's a classic red herring. Missouri sits in the 8th Circuit, and the case law is clear. When police officers have probable cause to believe a vulnerable person is walking into a life-threatening situation, they have an affirmative duty to act. But let's look past the legalese for a second. Michelle wasn't asking for a constitutional debate. She was begging for a 2-mile ride to a gas station. Giving a ride to an injured, intoxicated woman on a pitch-black, 60 miles per hour highway doesn't require a warrant. It doesn't require probable cause. It requires basic human decency. Instead, these officers stood there and told her the trunk was too full of gear to help. They chose their convenience over her survival. That's not protecting rights. That's a total abandonment of the duty to serve. Since the tragedy, Michelle's sister hasn't stopped digging, and she's provided me with a thumb drive packed with evidence the initial reports conveniently glossed over. We're talking about internal disciplinary complaints from the Missouri Department of Public Safety that explicitly allege Deputy Cobb created a substantial risk of death by leaving an intoxicated, injured woman on a major thoroughfare at night. But the most chilling piece of the puzzle is the dashcam footage from the semi-truck. It shows exactly what the deputies saw, or chose to ignore. On Highway 412, a 60 miles per hour zone with 0 streetlights, the white, fog line they told her to follow is essentially a death trap. In the footage, Michelle is a ghost in the dark. She's practically invisible until the very last second. This wasn't just a unfortunate accident. The sister has supplemental reports that point to a coordinated effort to frame this as Michelle's choice to walk. But when you look at the 13-minute gap between the deputies driving away and the 911 call from the truck driver, it's clear she never had a chance. This wasn't a choice, it was a sentence. This is where the armchair quarterbacking argument from the deputies' lawyers falls apart. Justice isn't about protecting a department from a potential lawsuit. It's about the truth of what happened on that highway. We're looking at a case where a woman's life was traded for the convenience of a bull trunk. The state of Missouri is already calling this reckless disregard. But the family is still fighting an uphill battle. As it stands, Michelle's family doesn't even have a lawyer. If there are any Missouri-based attorneys watching this who handle these types of civil rights cases, please reach out to me. I have the evidence, the recordings, and the sister's testimony ready to go. This family deserves more than a policy, excuse, and a veterinary cremation. They deserve accountability. I'll put all the contact information for the Dunlin County Sheriff's Office in the pinned comment below so you can exercise your protected free speech. Let them know what you think of their no right policy. To keep following this case, subscribe here and at thecivilrightslawyer.com. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.